What is up? Welcome back to my channel. Before I even get started with this video, I just want to say to all of the women out there who have had children, who are moms, you guys are incredible. I cannot explain enough how crazy pregnancy is. It's not easy. I was watching this other girl's YouTube video and she was talking about how she went through kind of like a rough first trimester, which so many women go through that, and it's like months long, and the word that she used to describe women in general who are pregnant is warriors. And I literally could not pick a better word to describe women. Today I just wanted to talk about my first trimester, the symptoms that I experienced, and sort of like a few things that helped me, although there wasn't much, to be honest, that really helped me get through my first trimester. I didn't even know that I was pregnant until I was about 6 weeks pregnant. At 6 weeks, your baby already has a heartbeat. It's already living its life in there, getting comfy for the ride. It was just mind-blowing when I went to the doctor and they were like, oh, you're 6 weeks pregnant. I was like, what? And this isn't something that I have planned. So I was going through every emotion possible. I was excited, I was scared, I was crying a lot. There were so many things going through my mind. And even if it is something that you have planned, it's normal to have all of those same emotions because it is just something so life-changing. So even if you are planning to get pregnant and you feel all of these ways, don't worry, it's okay. It's probably your hormones and it's normal. Some of the symptoms that I had my first trimester were, obviously my period was a few days late. That's what prompted me to take a pregnancy test. Even before I knew I was pregnant, now looking back, there are a few things that should have sparked in my brain, oh, you might be pregnant. My boobs were feeling so sore. And this happens to me when I get my period anyway, but they were feeling painful. They were feeling swollen and just hurt to touch, and the nipples were sore. Everything was just, it was painful. On top of that, my appetite, this was before I knew I was pregnant, so my appetite, looking back, had changed drastically. I was not hungry whatsoever. I didn't want to eat anything, and when I did want to eat something, it was more bland. And they call these food aversions, when you don't want to eat specific things, or when you kind of feel like, I don't even know how to explain it, but there were just times when I didn't even want to eat anything. Food was just basically disgusting me. And then came the fun part. I don't even remember what week this started at. I want to say it was like week 8, something along those lines, week 9 maybe. But then I started having severe nausea and vomiting. That has got to be the worst part. My sense of smell became like Spider-Man. It was crazy. Gabe would come home from work and I would ask him, what did you eat? Because it would just smell like, if he had meat, I would know he had meat for lunch. And I would probably know what kind of meat he ate for lunch. If I smelled anything at all that didn't settle my stomach, no, I was in the bathroom, throwing up, dry heaving, all of the above. Specifically, I was vomiting more so in the mornings. I would wake up and I would just feel so nauseous, and I would try crackers. I would try to drink a little water, which water in and of itself did not help. And this nausea and vomiting lasted for weeks. Finally, when I went to one of my doctor's appointments, I asked the physician, is there anything that you can give me to help settle my stomach? I mean, I was throwing up to the point where I was taking a shower the day of like the first ultrasound, and I was throwing up in the shower, and Gabe had to clean it up, and I felt horrible about it. Luckily, at my next doctor's appointment, I told her that I was throwing up a lot, I was having a hard time keeping water down, and this is all important because, you know, obviously you want to stay hydrated, especially when you're pregnant. And luckily, she was able to prescribe me a medication called Reglan that helps control the nausea and vomiting. That was extremely helpful, although I will say, even with the medication, I was still having days where I was throwing up. While it was helping me control it a little bit, it was still there. Now that I'm into my second trimester, I will say that my nausea and vomiting has definitely decreased. I mean, there's a few random days here and there where I've been not feeling good or I've thrown up, but other than that, I've been feeling like a new person compared to the first trimester. So if you are going through your first trimester right now and you're having an upset stomach and vomiting and all of those things, then don't worry. You will get through it. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. I know that some women have nausea and vomiting for the entire length of their pregnancy. I honestly can't imagine because it is just so physically and emotionally draining. But hopefully for most of you, there will be a cessation, that it will stop at some point. Other than the nausea and vomiting, I was just feeling so tired, so unmotivated, just like not myself. And I will say that my emotions were out of control at this point, which is very common during the first trimester of pregnancy. And I talked to my doctor about it, and she said that, you know, most of the time things start to level out in the second trimester, which is very true. I mean, I'm still, you know, I still have days where I cry, or I still have really good days, days where I feel energized, days where I feel tired. But the first trimester, it was the hardest. It's been the hardest part. And the reason you're feeling this way is because your body is using so much energy to create a life now. It's not giving you everything that it used to give you for just you. Now it has a baby to consider, and it's helping this baby grow, and this baby needs a lot from you. Another thing that I experienced in the first trimester that was really scary was bleeding. So I had a little bit of like almost like period blood at one point, and I was so scared. I thought, you know, I thought the worst was happening. Gabe and I immediately went to the hospital. We had an ultrasound. The baby was fine. This is something that can happen during any trimester, really. Basically what the doctor told me was that it happens frequently. It does happen to a lot of women, and basically if it's not happening with cramping, fever and chills, all of these things, then a lot of times it is a benign case of just random bleeding. But obviously, always, if that happens, you want to get checked out by your physician just to make sure. I mean, it's probably going to freak you out because it freaked me out. It's always better to just go to the doctor. Any questions you have, go to the doctor. There were a couple things that helped me get through the first trimester. Not a lot helped me get through the first trimester. I know that some girls have a list on here where they talk about all of these things that sort of like helped them manage their symptoms or whatever, but I was creating my list and I realized that there wasn't, not a lot. One of the first things, Gabe would always buy me Pedialyte because of how much I was throwing up, how much I was sick, because it is so important to stay hydrated through your entire pregnancy. And when you have this like nausea, vomiting, it's really hard to do that, especially if you're not tolerating water very well. I found that drinking Pedialyte was a lot easier than drinking water. It just did a better job of settling my stomach. It was easier to keep down. I will say there were times when I was throwing that up too, but for the most part, I think it really did help to rehydrate me and keep me hydrated when I was feeling so sick. One of the other things that really helped me is just keeping a bland diet. When I was in my first trimester, I was not eating healthy. I honestly could care less about what I was eating. It was more so just eating to eat. Eating to get some sort of calories in my body so that I wasn't starving. I was eating a lot of carbs, a lot of bland foods without smells. Just stay away from things that don't settle your stomach. I know that for me, eggs, smelling them, seeing them, anything like that made me feel sick, so I did not eat any eggs whatsoever. I honestly didn't eat meat for the longest time because it just disgusted me. Whatever it is you're eating, just eat and just try to get down as much as you can. Crackers are huge. Try and eat those in the morning if you can before you get up out of bed. That can help settle your stomach a little bit. And just try not to let yourself get hungry, because when you're hungry, that's when you feel more nauseous. The other thing that helped me was talking to my doctor and getting the prescription for the anti-nausea vomiting medication. That was a huge lifesaver, and I think it really truly helped me. And it helped me keep down food, keep down water. So if you are really struggling, please don't hesitate to talk to your doctor about prescribing something that can help you during this time. It will not be forever. Sometimes you need something to just get over the, the worst part. And really, that is my entire entire list. It's like 3 things, because I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh yeah, like, you know, I ate lemons and then I felt amazing. No, that didn't happen for me. I will say, realistically, the other thing that helped me so much during my first trimester is the support from family and friends and from Gabe. He truly, God bless him, because he truly helped me get through this first trimester. And it was hard on both of us, because, you know, it was hard on me physically, emotionally, all of these things, and it was hard for him to see me going through all of that. So I really thank him for being there for me, for buying me Pedialyte, for all of the things that he did, and for my family and for my friends who were there for me, asking me every day, how are you feeling? Well, I'm gonna give you the real answer. And there was a time when Gabe's sister was asking me literally every day, how are you feeling? And I felt so bad, because I'm not the type of person that's gonna be like, oh, everything's amazing. Every day I would tell her, well, I threw up again. Well, I'm crying. I don't feel good. I threw up again. And then finally, there was a time when she texted me and I was like, you know, actually I didn't throw up and I'm feeling okay. And that was like a breakthrough day for me. So I appreciate her just asking me how I was feeling, because that truly made a difference in my day. And it feels good just to know that you have support there. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope that you like this one. I'm going to do my best to try to keep you guys along with me through this journey. If you like this one, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and also subscribe. I'm not an expert by any means, but if you have any questions about anything at all, please leave me a comment below. I know that I've been not on here for so long, and there will be fitness videos coming in the future, you know, when I'm feeling motivated. But as always, I really appreciate all of your support all the time, and I will catch you guys next time.